Okay, well, second part of this is our Gauss elimination method with pivoting. So here you can see a keyword of what? Pivoting. Okay, pivoting. Okay, so meaning that we're going to do something as I highlighted previously, don't change or rearrange the sequence or the position of the equation. Okay, R1 will be always R1, R2 always R2, R3 always R3. Okay, so what's the problem if we maintain this kind of the arrangement? What if our A11 start with 0? What if? So if the A11 start with 0, if we can recall back the equation that we have, okay, the equation that is okay, let me show you. Okay, this equation, okay, no, okay, so we're going to divide by 0. Okay, you can see that we were using the A31 divided by A11. So if A11 is 0, so you're going facing a problem because you're going to have something divided to 0, so you're going to get infinity. So apparently like this, you cannot using the Gauss elimination. So that's why there's a improved method we call the Gauss elimination method with pivoting. So both method will be in the scope of your test. So please read the question carefully. If the question says pivoting, you need to follow the algorithm. We can use the name algorithm. Okay, or the methods to do the pivoting thing. That means we go to rearrange the equation. Okay, you cannot simply rearrange as well. If the question doesn't state the pivoting, don't swap anything. If you swap anything, that immediately you get the 0 mark for all the methods because all the methods are incorrect. Okay, are incorrect. Okay, please take note about this. Okay, so first of all, A11 is the highest among A21 and A31, or among this row, okay, regardless how many. So we have to ensure that A11 is the highest number. Okay. So that means regardless of the matrix, okay, you maybe have a 4 times 4, 4 times 4. We first, for the pivoting, we need to make sure that A11 has a highest value. Okay. So after we complete this stage, okay, that we need to ensure that A22 is higher than A32 if you only have three equation for this case. But if you have more, you need to ensure the A22 is the A2 here. A22 is the highest. Okay. So okay, I think maybe slightly blur. Let's see. Let we use the what? The method. I mean the example. Okay, let's say this example. Okay. So A11 is the highest or no? Okay. Apparently no need to post. Apparently A11 is not the highest. So the highest is A22. So based on the pivoting method, we need to swap the R1 and R2. Okay. So that's why in the first step, we need to swap it. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, next. Okay, we need to swap R1 and R2. So there will be a good idea for you to label your matrix. Okay, R1 and R2 at the beginning. Okay, and R3. Okay, so you need to swap R1 and R3, R1 and R2. So after you swap this one, that okay, that is your new matrix. So this is the highest one. My mouse. Where is the higher one? Now, okay, highest. That you can start using the Gauss elimination method that you learned. Okay, for the first round. So I'm not going to repeat the same thing. You can refer to the previous video. Okay, you're going to have this and this, but I think the notation maybe need to be what we call need to be tab node. Okay, so when we swap the R1 R2, so this one will be the new R1, so I think it will be good we label here R1 R2. Okay, and here R3, so or else it will be confusing. So that's means in the very first step, okay, we want to ensure the A11 the value is the maximum. Okay, so it's the maximum. If no, then we swap. Okay, you can see we swap directly these two. So if at the beginning you already have this matrix, do you need to swap? No need. Your phi is a maximum among this column. So it based on the equation. So after you swap, you using the method that you use in the the Gauss elimination method that you successfully eliminate these two. Okay. So next we want to eliminate this, am I correct? The A32, okay, A32 as usual. For this case will be no problem because this is not the zero, but imagine that if you have a question after you do the first one, you get a zero right here, what happened? You're going to facing the challenge, you're going to divide the zero, am I correct? So that's why according to this periodic algorithm, so it is going to ensure the A22 is the highest, okay, for this column. So now is on two of them. If you have 4 times 4, of course you need to consider another one. So make sure this one is higher. So need to swap now. Okay, need to swap from this case. Okay, so that's why in your solution you should state clearly. Okay, swap. You should write clearly swap these two. So D is your new R2 prime, and D is also your new R3 prime after you swap. Okay, and then the rest of the process are the same. Okay, so I don't need to repeat the thing. Okay, so for okay now this solving using the Gauss elimination method, so you don't need to swap from this case. Okay, you can do this one as your as your exercise. No, I mean as your attendance. Okay, attendance is this one for this week. Okay, attendance. Okay, please submit this one before when? Before how about Friday morning 8 a.m. Okay, 8 a.m. Friday. Okay, you can understand. Hey, okay, this is the question you need to submit for your attendance. Okay, so this some as I explained to you, you can read through. If you feel something you are not clear, you can ask me, email me which part you are not clear. This is actually what I explained to you. Okay, so this also need to do. Also need to do two questions. Okay, this is an question. Okay, so basically, okay, this question I show you. Okay, I show you this one. So basically, pause your video. Think which one we need to swap. Need to swap or not? Okay, the answer of course need to swap. So we're going to swap these two only. Okay, at the beginning because we want to ensure the coefficient for our A11 is higher. So we swap this one. Okay, so this is a process. So first present in the matrix. Okay, next we swipe. Okay, after we swipe, then we eliminate these two. Okay, of course after eliminate the rest you need to update. Okay, you update using the formula. So next for this case, apparently we need to swap again. So it depends on the question. Sometimes you only need to swap. So because we have to ensure this one is the highest when we're trying to eliminate this guy. Okay, the A32. So we need to ensure this one is the maximum. So we need to swap again. Okay, for this case. Okay, so after we swap and then we eliminate. And one more thing is that okay, so we need to ensure Yeah, I think there's a typo, but I know there's a negative here. Okay, we're going to see the absolute value. Okay, absolute value. This means we are not see the sign. Okay, so this means these two in terms of absolute. Of course, just now if you see a 3 versus the negative 7, you might think a 3 positive is higher. I mean, right? We're going to see the absolute value that's being regardless of the sign. So apparently 7 is higher. Okay, so that means we're going to modulus it. If you back to this definition also state it clearly. Okay, as you can see that modulus A22. Okay, same thing for the A11 here. Okay, so let's go back here. Yeah, I think that's all that you get this answer. Okay, you can pause it and then make sure you get the correct answer. So second question you to submit is this one. Okay, second question. Second queue. Okay, you submit. So that means you need to submit 2 questions for your week 3 attendance. Okay, if you miss the deadline, we consider you are no submit. Okay, I think that's all from me. Thank you very much. I know it. Okay, here is some thing about how you're using a calculator. I think the slide you have, so you can go through this as well. So this one also, and then here is the answer. Okay, one common mistake is that you get a correct answer, but the step is wrong. Okay, the step that you demonstrated are wrong, so that's why you don't get the method marks. As I show you, the method marks contribute more than 80%. Okay, so if your final answer is correct, then you only get these 2 marks only, over maybe 10 marks maximum. Okay, for example. So make sure you know it. So to summarize, today we learn about the Gauss elimination, and also is another version of pre-voting that we solve the equation using the calculator that you can use this. Okay, since we are online learning, so you try to do it by yourself because our learning is 3 hours. Okay, so I hope that you use the hours wisely. So need to swap now. I think this one give you the answer. Yeah, need to swap because which one swap which one? These two swap. Okay, because we want to ensure the A1 is the highest. Okay, and then this one need to swap now. No need, because the is highest already. This one negative 0.85, even though you modulus it, so it's still a 0.8 less than 1. Okay, that's all. Hope you have a nice learning. Thank you.